Yo,
Emmanuel, what's up, bro?
how you doing, big dog?
I'm doing good. The link wasn't working at first, but it came through.
I'm glad you're here.
Is you right?
Glad you're here. Uh, I went through your Vimeo, like I type out your name, and you got
Yeah.
videos, my brother.
Videos?
You got videos.
Oh yeah, I got my whole journey from post college until I got famous. Before I got a whole vlog. Like
Yeah,
I think
and
we the
it's
first
good.
generation. We the first generation to have that.
Yeah, it's. I have a Vimeo page, and I didn't do like my first work, but you
Yeah.
can definitely tell like when you first start till now. Like I
Yeah.
got a hard.
Started on YouTube. A good friend of mine named Eric Duda was this videographer that I got real cool with, and he's the person that taught me how to edit. And when he taught me how to edit, I made it my goal to put out at least 2 videos every week. And so on my YouTube page, if you go to like my YouTube page, it's like Big Miles TV. That's where I used to put I was making music videos for friends, just recording my day to day. I made a series called Rolling with Big Miles. I just wanted to, one, get better at editing, but also journey my process because I knew I was going like to be like dope when I was places, and so I just wanted to record my journey. And so now when I'm bored or when I'm feeling down or just to pass time, I go back and I can look at stuff from 2010, 2011, 2015, 2017. What was I doing on this date 10 years ago? I got that record, and I think that's
Well,
a blessing.
you're jumping over topics I was gonna hit, but let me.
All right, I just be talking, bro.
No, that's what I want. And
Yeah.
so the purpose of my show is a lot of people are doing this on Instagram Live.
This is dope.
Um,
Got your flower painting behind you. I'm loving it.
Thank you. That's which
Okay.
the legend, not Legend of Korra, but Aang. That's the avatar before him. I'm a kid and a geek at heart. I don't care. Everybody likes what they like.
I don't care. Yeah.
I'm comfortable.
Exactly. That's the bottom line.
All right, so I was watching a video of you recently, and this girl had the audacity to tell you that your beard looked dusty.
Yeah.
What are you in quarantine? I know people ain't really keeping themselves up, but what are you doing to keep your beard from looking dusty?
I was literally just combing my beard and oiling my beard, bro. Shout out.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the combs, bro. Shout out to the combs.
And I didn't know that wood combs are better.
Oh, I gotta get a wood comb then.
You gotta get a wood comb, brother.
Yeah, they keep the oil in there or something?
They keep the oils in there, and I know mine's broken now, but
after I take it out. So I use a tea tree oil. I just use tea tree oil and some what is it? Not olive oil. Some other kind of oil that my mama got in there. I don't know.
Shea butter and almond oil.
Yeah. That works. That
works. It's just this. You kind of keep this maintained. Up here though, we getting off topic. All right. This is going to be a good episode. Welcome to another episode of HomeGrown The Series. I'm your host, Emmanuel Davis, and I have the pleasure of speaking with a good brother, a director, an actor, a producer, and part-time singer, Miles Stroter. You've seen him on The Game, Insecure, and The Quad. You can catch him on his new show starring Kirby Jenner on the Quibi app. Miles, welcome to HomeGrown The Series.
Hey, thanks for having me, Manuel.
Yeah, man. See, I can't pull the backwards cap. I can't do it, but you can.
It's my gangster look. My quarantine gangster look. Yeah, I haven't hit the barber, so I had to figure it out.
This situation up here, it's thick and curly. Up here, nothing.
That's how it goes, bro.
All right, bro.
Means you wise, bro.
Huh?
It means you wise.
Or some other things, but okay. Thank you. You touched on it earlier, being able to go back and look at your previous work. Do you remember your first shoot?
Yeah. Man, so I got a crazy. When I first started acting, I was background, so it's like almost like a glorified extra, and I was on a show called Necessary Roughness, and when we had finished like a long take, and the director called a cut or a break, and I went and I sat in the actor's chair, the lead actor's chairs. And they were all looking at me like how you was just looking at. Hey fam, you gotta go. I said, no, bro. If I want to sit down, ain't nobody else sitting in this chair because one of the actors wasn't there. I'm gonna sit down. I deserve it. You know, and that was my mindset. But the lead actor, whose name I'm not gonna mention, but you can go search him on IMDb. But he like had a problem with me sitting in the chair, and I'm like, bro, it's not no hierarchy in human. Like, bro, I can sit wherever I want to sit. And I mean, looking back on it, that was an asshole thing. But I always told myself that day, I'm like, man, when I get speaking lines and when I'm the lead actor, man, you're not gonna be able to tell the difference between me and an extra. And so, fast forwarding to like 2013, I had booked my first speaking role on a show called Chicago Fire, and they gave me.
I remember that role.
They gave me my trailer and they gave me everything, and I was like, yo, where the extras at? And they pointed where the extras at, and so I went and I had my meal with the extras, and I'm sitting down there sitting at the table talking like I'm an extra. I actually was there with a classmate from King. I forget the girl's name, but she was in the class above us, but she was an extra that day. And she's like, man, what are you doing here? I'm like, man, I'm trying to get on this acting stuff, you know, just coming in, be an extra, you know, doing my thing, eating my meal. And then the AD came in and says, Miles, they need you on set. So everybody's looking like, why they? And so then the scene was, you remember my Chicago Fire scene was a crowd of people.
Yeah.
So in that crowd of people was all the extras that I was just sitting in the room with. And so they came out there, it was like, you tricked us. You a real actor. You have speaking lines. And I wanted to commemorate me sitting in that actor's chair, and then I wanted to show extras like, man, it's really not no difference, man, between you and that person that's speaking. I don't really like hierarchies in nothing, and I really don't like authority. I really don't, and so I like for everybody to govern themselves accordingly, and so that's what I try to put forward. You know,
that was a good story.
Thanks, dude.
I had watched that.
Never told that story.
You never told it? Well, thank you for sharing.
You got it.
I'm gonna put in the title "A Man of the People" as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of that role, you had to really get in character to show like frustration and rage.
Yeah, because I'm not a mean person. I don't really have rage. I mean, I was a football player, and like they used to tell me in football, man, you got to get mean. But even throughout my football career, I used to pride myself on beating people's ass with a smile on my face. Like, and I used to get under people's skin so much they'd be trying to intimidate me, growling and shit. And I used to beat you. I used to say, tell a joke and beat your ass, man. It used to be fun. Like, I don't think you have to be aggressive or have aggression in this life, man, if you living right.
So how do you sack somebody and then just smile at them, and then get up and run another play?
Hey, man. Hey, next time do better, you know?
So do you think that your personality, just being a genuine, nice person, prevents you from being typecasted as goon number one or bust down boy?
Oh. Hey, you hilarious. You're hilarious. I haven't been typecasted yet. I mean, in the beginning of my career, that's all I used to go in for auditions for. Big Goon 1, Big Goon 2, and then as I switched agencies, like it was my goal to get representation that believed in me more than I believed in myself. That's what I wrote down on my goal list, you know. And my agents now in LA, they pitch me for projects that I don't fit the scope. It's not like I told, they see it, man. I could be happy, I could be mad, I could be, man. It's a wide range of characters that I can play, and I'm really grateful that they trust in my skill set to push me for the roles, because for some roles Like they write down, man, this is what we're looking for, this is what we want. But it takes a good representation to really fight for you. Hey, man, you need to see this guy. He's actually really talented, even though he doesn't fit what you're looking for, you know?
So you want that broad range of characters. You can be the comedian, you can be the goon, but just don't cast me for the goon all the time. Let me be an emotional character. Let me be a comedic relief for Chris Jenner. Let me do all of that.
Yeah, a guy named Sean Blakemore. He played my coach in the quad. He like one of my OGs in the game. He told me, he was like, man, Miles, each role, let it be different. Don't play the same role twice, you know, or that's how you're going to get stuck there. And so, yeah, man, I try to switch it up every time. And luckily, man, my career has put me in a wide range of different characters to play, to embody.
Why acting?
It was kind of forced upon me, man, because I was really set on going to the NFL. Like 2010 at Morehouse, we had just won we had like the best team in Morehouse history, first team to go to the playoffs, the NCAA playoffs. The guy the year before got drafted to the NFL, and my senior year comes and the NFL goes on lockout. Right, and so we didn't have a pro day or nothing, and my agent was like, man, go play in the Arena Football League, and then after the Arena Football League ends, hopefully the lockout ends, and then you'll go right to camp. And so I did what he said. I moved back to Chicago from Atlanta, and I signed with the Chicago Rush, the AFL team up here that played at the All-State Arena. I played with them for like 4 weeks, and I lived out in Palestine. It was torture, bro. We was getting paid like $700 a week, and I just was thinking like, man, I'm supposed to be rich playing football outside of college. Like, and this is not it. Like, God, please make something shake. And so I got a random email from a casting director that I met a year before at Morehouse. I was playing football at Morehouse my senior year, and my house was next to Clark football field. I was walking past Clark Atlanta's football field. They had a bunch of cameras set up on the field. So I went down there to inquire about it, and the lady came up to me and said, hey, are you a football player? I'm like, yeah. She was like, well, you guys got 5 minutes to get dressed. We got to be on the field. I said, no, I'm not with you guys' production. I play football over at Morehouse. I said, what are you guys doing? She said, oh, I'm sorry, babe. She said, what do you I was like, what are you guys doing? She's like, we're filming a pilot. I said, what's a pilot? She's like, well, it's what the show, the producer pitches a pilot to the network in order for it to be picked up as a show. So this pilot is called Necessary Roughness, and we're pitching it to USA, and we're filming the first episode right now. And I'm like, oh, dope. Well, can you take my information down? I said, I'm going to the NFL, but when I start playing football, man, I want to be an actor.
Correct.
Lo and behold, a year later, I got an email, probably after a rough day of practice, and she's like, hey, Miles, the network picked up the pilot. I want to know if you was interested in being background. I'm like, word? I'm like, how much are they gonna make? And he's like anywhere from like $350 to $500 a day. I'm like, oh, that's better than, hey, say less. So my football agent told him, I'm like, yeah, though, I'm done playing in the Arena Football League until the lockout lift. I'm about to go be an actor. It's like, Miles, are you serious? I promise I'm gonna be working out and stuff. I'm actually playing a football player, so man, it'll be perfect. I told my family I was going to become an actor, and then I moved back to Atlanta to pursue acting. And after that, I just kept getting acting opportunities. And for a while, I was trying to fight. Like, man, I want to be a football player, but dang, this acting stuff is dope. Like, man, what should I do? And man, he just kept leading me in the way of acting. Another funny story. Like that same year, my senior year, I was my landlord hit me up and said, hey, Miles, I need you to do me a big favor. A friend of mine producing a play at the Cadillac Theater. I need you to be in it. I said, you need me to be in a play? I think I go to football practice. What? Yeah. Like, man, if you do this, I'll give you half off of rent for 2 months. I said, man, hey, say less. So I told my coach I had a project for school, and I went to the rehearsal, get to the Cadillac Theater. I walk upstairs to the rehearsal, and Robin Givens opened the door. And she looked at me up and down. She said, oh, the possibilities. I said, whoa, Robin Givens, what's up, yo? And so the play was called Church Girls, and it ran for a week in Atlanta, but I had to play her bodyguard. And I, carry her down the stage. I was in a real life play, and that was like my first taste of acting. But it was like I ignored it. You know, after that week, they was like, man, you need to travel on the road with us. Can you come to the next city? I'm like, Dad, man, no, I play football. You know, I gotta go. I'm in college, but thank you for the opportunity. It was good meeting y'all.
Yeah.
It was fun, man. Acting's dope. And so a year later, I go become an extra, and the rest was history.
It's amazing how.
One more story.
Okay.
Speaking to that, the first thing I got a speaking line for, the name of the Chicago Fire episode was God Has Spoken. Yeah, don't get more symbolic. Yeah.
I was just going to say, it's amazing how you'll be doing something and thinking that's what you're supposed to be doing. And then lo and behold, it doesn't pan out the way you thought it should pan out. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to give you this.
Yeah.
I gave you a taste when you was in college, and it was good to you. You truly enjoyed it, but you was like, nah, I'm comfortable over here. Let me do this.
Right.
And then a year later, he was like, I'm going to mess it up a little bit. I'm going to lower that expectation. You thought you were supposed to get this a day, but you're getting that a month. I'm going to present you another opportunity. Let me see what you do with it.
Exactly.
And you doing it.
Yeah.
And you doing it.
Yeah,
All
man.
the possibilities.
Exactly, dude. And that's the real, and like, man, God gave me so many confirmations. Like the next confirmation came when I got casted for the quad. Man, I took 2 years off of acting, 2014, 2015 off, just to get healthy, get my health in order. I was training like an athlete, had moved up to Evanston, was going to the gym 2 times a day, and really just, man, grinding it out. And I got a random call from a buddy that had started out acting with. He's like, Miles, I just got casted for a show, and they looking for other guys that can play football players. Man, send your audition to Rob Hardy, this producer that made Drumline. And, man, I recorded my audition. I sent it to him. Got casted for it the next day for the role of Junior on the quad. Went down. I'm like, where we filming at? They said, you filming at Morehouse. I said, wow, you got to be down there next week. I go down to Morehouse. First day of filming, we shooting in my locker room, in my shower. We shot a shower scene in the showers. We on the football field. I said, bro, God, you just...
You brought me back to where I was comfortable with another opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh, we preaching today.
Yeah, man. Hey, my testimony is real, bro. Like,
hey, yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how he'll make it plain. Like, this is what I want you to do.
Bro, I remember being on the field, they shooting me, and I'm just going through my choreography, my football choreography, just saying, thank God, thanks God, like, thanks God. Thank you, 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 God. And I remember just saying that over and over again to myself. Like,
we can hear you saying it in the mic.
Yeah. This is unreal, dude. Like, and I'm just so appreciative, and this is still the beginning. Like, and I've done so much, and I still feel like I got so far to go. You know.
Yeah, I've read a lot of actors. I know one of the older actors in Black Panther, that was her first role. She was like Queen of one of the tribes.
Man, a lot of actors has been in the game for a long time. They ask me my story and about who do I train with. Like, man, I've never took an acting class. I'm trained with anybody. And they be like, man, your journey is so rare, dude. Man, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm like, man, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see the growth from working on Game Time and the quad to working with Chris Jenner this year?
Do I see the growth?
Yeah, growth in your acting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just a different level of comfort, man. I'm so comfortable with myself. And, like, man, so with the quad, that was the first time I was able to act, like, nonstop. Like, I had to be down there for 8 weeks. Every day I'd be on set, like 4 times a week, really acting. Had to go home, memorize lines. And that was like, man, that was like welcome to Hollywood for real, you know? And now I'm so comfortable that I blow everybody away. I moved to LA March 1st in 2018. March 5th, I got my first audition. That was for Insecure. I booked Insecure March 11th. So my first weekend in LA, I booked Insecure, and by the end of March, I was on set filming, and the way that those people was responding to me, to my acting ability, and my improv ability, my comedic timing, they were like blown away. Like, I mean, I got clips of Issa Rae and Yvonne Orji, just going crazy in hysterics over my just me being me, you know? And I just be like, y'all crazy, because I just be
I was
being
gonna say that in your demo reel and all the clips that I've seen you in, you're a larger person,
right.
but your presence is bigger than that. Even if it's a small role, like people remember your role in Chicago
And
Fire.
I credit that to God, bro. Like I spend a lot of time working on myself, meditating. Like, man, I try to be a better person than I was yesterday every day. So I'm on a streak now, like 10-year streak, bro. So, man, that's the glow that people be seeing. And before I walk on any set, man, or before I walk in the audition room, before I walk anywhere, I'd be like, God, please let them see the light. Let them recognize the light, dog. You know? Like,
And
and the people that don't, and the people that don't see the light, it should tell me about them, you know? Tell me, tell me a lot
and
about
they
them.
see it before they see you, but before you ever say a word, they be like, "There's something different about you."
Every
I don't
time.
know what it is for a Robin Givens
Yeah,
to
bro.
see you and be like, "All the possibilities" before you said a word.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you mentioned that you've been from Chicago, Evanston, Atlanta, LA. Do you need to make those moves to get in those certain circles to get those
Man,
roles?
I felt like you did. I felt that was mandatory, but one of the guys that I mentored, my little nephew, his name's Khalil Everett. He started acting. He was in my movie called Karma. And that was his first project. And then 2 months later, he got casted for this movie called Beats on Netflix. And it was him starring with Anthony Anderson. And man, he blew up. And he didn't have to leave Chicago. He's like, I told you, Miles, I didn't have to leave Chicago. So now he's a series regular on a show on YouTube Premium called Cobra Kai. And then he's been on The Shy. He's done Beat. He got the biggest agency in LA. He got Anthony Anderson's management team at Artist First. He's kicking ass, and he's over on 43rd Street somewhere, you know? But I just feel like for me, I'm real in tune, like intuition and coincidence. Like I'm real in tune with where I gotta be, like, and I'm just real intuitive. So I felt like everywhere I gotta be, I'm gonna be, based on my inner voice telling me that's where I gotta be. And I mean, like I said, 5 days in me moving to LA, I got to audition for Insecure, like the biggest show out. Like that don't happen. That doesn't happen.
And
You
a
know?
lot of people, I have friends, I have relatives that have moved to LA for that purpose of shaking the right hands, bumping
Yeah.
into the people, and they struggle.
Yeah, it's real. I mean, the Kardashian show that I'm on right now, I was in Chicago when I booked it. It was the day before Christmas. I had to send in the audition, and January 2nd, I had to be on set. And so, man, it's really, really about getting in tune with yourself and really tapping in with God and let Him order your steps. That's another one of my prayers. God, man, order my steps, please. Like, make sure that I go in the right places and I had the right mindset to be in tune with your destiny, what you have prepared for me. You know, I got a list of goals that I want, and man, I made it clear, you know what I'm saying? I make it known, I write it down, and I'm going to act and take the steps necessary to make those joints come into fruition. I'm in big on manifestation, but God ultimately is in control, you know?
Absolutely.
Get everything you're supposed to get in the right time if you really believe it, you know?
Use me, Lord, for what you want me to do here.
Yeah. This is not my talent. This for you. This for the glorification of you. And I'm a silly guy. I have fun, but that's been the driving force behind my success, bro. Giving it all to God, for real.
And He'll provide.
Yeah.
No, it's always been. I've seen this, guys. Me and Miles went to high school together, and on a rare occasion, you will hear this angelic voice just singing throughout the hall, echoing throughout the hallways. I thought he was going to be a singer at first, you know. But if you watch some of Miles' early work, they always slip in a note or two. Did you plan to sing on some of these shows, or did they?
Man,
Or did the script just say that?
the show I did last summer, what is it, Southside? Like, it didn't even have like, can you sing in the audition? Like, I just read the lines from the second half of the show, and then when they got on set, they was like, man, can any of you sing? I'm like, I actually can, right? Or it's like, perfect. Well, we need you to sing these lines, and I started singing. They was like, man, we might not even have to do ADR, dude. We just gonna use dope, bro. And I'm like, yeah, that's crazy, God. But it's God knows my talent, you know. And that was another instance, like, dude, how you like? Why did you set this up? Now I'm on Comedy Central singing my ass off. Shout out to
And
you.
if y'all don't know what I had mentioned it before, his character name is one of the Bust Down Boys, and they're literally singing about one of their homies.
Yeah, one of the homies had died, and so we were singing at his memorial service. He used to be one of us, the Bust Down Boy.
And tell me what your shirt said.
I love bust downs. Yeah. The creators of that show are real funny, dude. Bashir. Yeah, they dope, man. They dope, man.
But it speaks to not only your talent as a singer, but also your comedic timing, and that's evident in your new show on Quibi. You're hilarious.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. My agent called me and was like, man, I got this new show with the Kardashians for you, dude. I don't want you to audition for it. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I think it'll be a good look. I'm like, send me the script. He's like, there is no script. I said, what? He's like, no, you just got to improv. I'm like, oh, say less. This easy. So I said, okay. And it was like, they gave me the scenario. He said, you and Kirby Jenner are shopping for Kris Jenner's birthday party, and you take Kirby into a sauna shop, and you are trying to bargain with the owner. And so I went crazy on the audition, and like as soon as I sent it off, I knew I got it because it was real good, you know.
And it was funny at the end of the episode, and you said it was improv. I didn't know that. I thought it was still somewhat scripted. The mom's boyfriend bought a sauna that was better than the one y'all picked.
Yeah.
And Kirby's face was like,
right. That's the funny part about it. Like people won't know, and people don't know what's real, what's fake. Like they don't know. Like they don't have a clue. I got so many calls like, dude, I didn't know you were a bodyguard. When were you the Kardashians' bodyguard? And
that was one of my questions. I'm like,
I felt bad, but I just I want people to go with it. Like, man, I said, no, I was a bodyguarding for years, man. Let me know if you need me.
the way, because when you put on your serious face,
right,
I would feel comfortable walking down the street with you. Like, yeah, I'm with him. What?
Yeah.
But the way they photoshopped it, or it's Hollywood, whatever Hollywood magic they put on.
Right, Hollywood magic, bro. That's
they put Kirby on the runway with his sister. I'm like, he's not a model. Is he a model? Wait, what am I watching?
Yeah, that show is messing people up. People like, dude, I didn't know the Kardashians had another son, a brother. Miles, I didn't know you were a security. I don't know what to believe. And so the crazy part is, we were on set the first day. They was like, hey, Miles, what you want your name to be on the show? I said, duh, Miles. So shout out to them for giving me the creative, like the pass to be as creative as I needed to be, you know?
Do you enjoy improv more than scripted?
It's a balance, because even with scripted stuff, man, I'm gonna throw improv in there, you know? And that's what I think makes a good actor, knowing where that comedic timing and knowing where to put ad-libs at. If you remember my scene from Insecure, like half of that stuff was improv. That whole, when I was like a nigga parched, Like that was all not written. The fruit frenzy stuff, the flavor of it, like I think that's what the coolest thing about acting is. You get to play around so much, man, and whatever sticks in the editing room. But to give the editor so much to choose from, that'd be my goal. You know, make this shit dope.
You let that little man beat you up over some weed, brother?
Yeah, that was scripted, man. That was scripted. Even though that dude Kendrick, dog, shout out to Kendrick Sampson, bro. He's like on the front lines protesting, like really be in man. I seen a video of him yesterday. Like, we want a new society or else, and we ain't gonna. I'm like, damn. I don't know if I have that in me to be out there.
I was in the car with him.
Right. Yeah, let's go, Kendrick. Yeah, that's what I be on.
That's good. So I think I had everything I wanted to talk about.
Oh, that's real.
But I'm enjoying this, so I'm gonna keep going. Yeah. What's next? What you got working? That's what I wanted to touch on too. Is because you have time in as an actor, that's giving you the freedom to start your own projects.
Right.
And then how has that process been?
After I did the first season of The Quad, I had a little bit of money, and so I'm like, man, my roommate on the show The Quad, Bojan, the white guy, he's become one of my closest allies in his acting shit. When I first moved to LA, I slept on his couch, but he really like opened my eyes to creating my own. You know, he comes from a family of creators. His brother's a director. His dad's a writer and a critic, and just they got a production company. They have produced so many movies. Jake sold a couple movies to Lifetime. He's working on a film that was about to premiere in the Dallas Film Festival that he wrote and starred in, starring with George Lopez. And so when I got over there, he used to be in the room every day for like 4 hours just writing. I'm like, what you doing in there, bro? He's like, I'm writing. I'm a writer. And I'm like, dang, dude, you write your own scripts? And he's like, yeah, man, this is one about this. This is another one about this. I'm like, man, I got to get on my game. Acting is bigger than this acting stuff. So, man, he inspired me to start writing. And I wrote this piece. My first piece was called Karma. And then I came home and invested in cameras and sound equipment and flew a couple actors from LA in town, and I shot my first film. And so last year it premiered in a couple of film festivals. Premiered in Chicago Festival, and then the film and premiered in LA in the film festival. And last summer I started filming Karma 2, the sequel to the last Going Down film. And so I'm editing that. And so it's just, I'm working on about 7 scripts right now. Man, all of them gonna get done. What I like to do is I like to link up with other writers or people that hit me up about opportunities. I give them the ability to create with me. Like, oh, you want to do something? Oh, let's work. Let's write a movie. And depending on how much work they put in is how much work I'm gonna put in. You know. And
correct.
So far so good. Like remember Miles Miller from King? Man, me and Miles been working on the script for like 7 years, bro. Like, he was here in Washington. I had just done did Chicago Fire, and he's like, man, I love what you're doing, Miles. I want to get into film too. I'm like, go crazy. So he finished his course here at Washington and signed up for film school at Columbia. Went to Columbia. I was in his final project acting, and when I took my break off acting, that was the first project I did coming back. And 2 weeks after I did Miles' film, that's when I got casted for The Quad. And I tell him all the time, like, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even have been, the energy wouldn't have been there, bro. And so, man, we got this movie we working on right now called Game Changer, and it's about athletes getting paid. And man, we about 116 pages into the script, and as soon as we finish that, man, it's gonna take off. Game Changer. Miles Miller and Miles Stroter. Miles.
Double M. A Double M Productions.
Right.
Nah, it's contagious. Your partner on The Quad, Miles, just being around those like-minded people who have the same drive as you
Yeah.
pushes you to like, all right, I ain't just finna just be sitting here just being a fan or just.
Right, I'm not gonna be sitting here waiting on Hollywood to tell me I'm good enough, you know? Man, I went to about 30 auditions last year and I only booked like 2 things, you know? And so, man, you get used to rejection. Like that's the biggest thing in Hollywood. Man, you're gonna get so many no's, but it takes so many no's to get to that yes. But while you're getting those no's and those yeses, you need to be creating your own so that you don't have to rely on that one day. So you can be Tyler Perry out here one day. Like that's the ultimate goal, man. I need a studio in Chicago, right outside Chicago, man, with about 12 sound stages on it, ready. Like, man, for all the productions in Chicago. Exactly, dude. That's what I'm on, bro. Like that's what I'm grinding for.
I'm gonna pick back up. It warms my heart that Chicago is edging up there to be with the LAs, the New Yorks, the Atlantas, of just being a hub where actors, where chefs, where artists can go
and thrive. Yeah, exactly, dude.
We have The Chi, we have Chicago Fire, PD, Med, all of these shows.
It's
Southside.
popping in Chicago, man.
It is. And it feels good that it's people not only in front of the camera, but behind the camera that look like you and I.
Yep.
And that makes me feel good. No, I truly appreciate you taking the time out to talk to me, man. Thank you for the good stories.
Oh, man, that's my life. My life's a good story, dude. I don't have no complaints about anything, dude. My life has been a blessing, and I'm real happy and fulfilled. And if I could pass that fulfillment and happiness on to others, I try to, you know.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Man, love you, bro. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you too, man.